Studies now show certain green foods can stimulate the brain's repair process and sharpen vision while you sleep. But only if you eat them at the right time. That single truth has changed how I treat memory loss and vision decline in my older patients. Because here's the real problem. 1. No one tells you. Waking up with blurry vision, forgetting familiar names, or losing track of what you were just doing. It's not just aging. In fact, a 2023 study from the University of Michigan found that 67% of adults over 60 experience nutrient deficits in the brain's visual and memory regions during sleep. That means while your brain and eyes are trying to heal overnight, they're starving. The result? You wake up groggy, your eyes feel foggy, and your thoughts don't quite click. That's the pain most seniors live with daily, and they think it's normal. But it isn't. If this sounds like you, if you've ever stared at your morning coffee, unsure if you already drank it, if you've ever reached for your glasses but still couldn't see clearly, that's not just forgetfulness. That's a silent breakdown of the very systems that keep your mind alert and your vision sharp. The good news? You can nourish those systems naturally and without medication, starting tonight. In this video, I'll walk you through 4 powerful leafy green foods that science has shown to help repair vision and boost brain clarity while you sleep. Each one works in a different way. And the final one? It may be the most overlooked, but most powerful brain-supporting green of them all. So if you're watching this for the first time, welcome. If you care about protecting your vision, your brain, and your independence, consider subscribing for more science-backed insights each week. Let's begin with the first food. It's gentle, powerful, and already sitting in your fridge. Let me begin with one of the most underestimated healers for aging eyes and a tired brain. Spinach. Not a superfood because of hype, but because of science. Spinach contains 2 carotenoids that are critical for older adults, lutein and zeaxanthin. These nutrients are not just helpful, they are essential, especially when your eyes begin to feel cloudy, and your memory no longer responds like it used to. Let me explain why. Lutein and zeaxanthin are the only 2 carotenoids found in large concentrations in the human retina and brain. They work like internal sunglasses filtering out harmful blue light that damages photoreceptor cells in the eye. But beyond that, they serve as anti-inflammatory shields for the visual cortex and hippocampus, 2 areas deeply involved in both memory and sight. And when these areas are inflamed, even slightly, everything becomes harder. Your focus, your recall, your clarity. In a 2022 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Aging, researchers followed 74 adults aged 65 to 80. After just 6 weeks of consuming 100 grams of cooked spinach per day, participants showed a 19% improvement in visual contrast sensitivity and 16% faster memory recall compared to the control group. That's measurable. That's meaningful. And for seniors, that's life-changing. Let me give you an example. I had a patient named Harold, 71 years old. He told me, "Doc, I'm seeing smudges on the page when I read, like ghost letters." We looked at his diet, no greens, not even once a week. I asked him to simply add a cup of steamed spinach at dinner every other night. By week 3, he called me and said, "It's like someone wiped my glasses while I was sleeping." Now, that's not magic. That's science and consistency. Because spinach also contains high levels of vitamin K, folate, and nitrates. Vitamin K supports cognitive aging by protecting neurons from oxidative stress. Folate helps regulate homocysteine levels, a compound that, when elevated, increases the risk of cognitive decline. And nitrates? They improve nighttime blood flow to the brain and retina, enhancing the natural repair process while you sleep. This is what makes spinach so powerful. It does not just feed your system. It helps flush out the oxidative stress that builds up in your eyes and mind throughout the day. So how should you use it? I recommend steaming your spinach lightly, not boiling. This preserves the lutein. Add a squeeze of lemon juice. The vitamin C helps your body absorb the carotenoids more efficiently. Even better, pair it with a healthy fat like olive oil that increases absorption dramatically. If you are new to greens or struggle with the taste, blend it into a warm evening soup or lightly stir-fry with garlic. You do not need a lot. Just a cup of cooked spinach, 3 to 4 times a week, can start restoring clarity where it once faded. Remember this: your body does not stop healing at age 60. It only needs the tools to keep going. And spinach, quiet and humble, is one of those tools. Now let's move on to the next green. It is darker, stronger, and has a remarkable effect on restoring brain sharpness. Kale is often called the king of leafy greens, and for good reason. But what most people don't realize is that kale is one of the few foods that directly supports neuroplasticity in older adults. Now, what does that mean? Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to adapt, reorganize, and form new connections even in later life. It's what helps you remember a grandchild's name, learn a new route home, or recover after periods of confusion or forgetfulness. The older we get, the harder it is for the brain to rewire itself. But not impossible. In 2021, a study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that older adults who consumed diets rich in cruciferous greens like kale showed a 26% higher expression of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, compared to those who rarely ate them. BDNF is like fertilizer for brain connections. It stimulates the growth of new neurons and protects existing ones from damage. Kale is uniquely rich in several compounds that activate this healing. First, sulforaphane, a powerful antioxidant, reduces inflammation in the hippocampus, which is the part of the brain responsible for memory formation. In laboratory studies published in 2020 Inches, the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, sulforaphane from kale was shown to lower neuroinflammation markers by 31% in aged mice, with corresponding improvements in maze memory tests. Second, kale contains high levels of vitamin K, 1/500% of your daily needs in a single cooked cup. Vitamin K1 plays a critical role in maintaining white matter integrity, which is the tissue that allows different parts of your brain to communicate. A 2019 meta-analysis in Nutrients journal linked higher dietary intake of vitamin K to a 14% lower risk of age-related cognitive impairment in adults over 65. Third, kale is a surprising source of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. Though not as potent as DHA from fish, ALA still supports synaptic transmission and slows the rate of age-related brain shrinkage. A 2020 longitudinal study from Tufts University observed that older adults with higher ALA intake retained more brain volume over 3 years. But kale doesn't just affect memory. It also plays a vital role in supporting visual processing speed, which is the brain's ability to make sense of what your eyes are seeing. That same 2021 study I mentioned earlier found that higher cruciferous vegetable intake correlated with faster visual reaction times, especially in dim light conditions, a key concern for older adults who struggle with driving at night or walking in low-lit spaces. This makes kale not just a brain food, but a bridge between eye and mind. So how should you prepare it? Steam it lightly to keep the nutrients intact and the bitterness down, or enjoy it raw. Just soften it first with a bit of olive oil and lemon. Even a single cup, 2 or 3 nights a week, can help sharpen focus and slow cognitive decline. Kale isn't just nutritious. It's one of the few foods that helps train your brain to repair while you rest. Because even at night, kale keeps working. Quietly strengthening. Quietly protecting. Quietly rewiring. Next, we'll look at a green that's even more underestimated, but may hold the key to repairing tired, aging eyes from the inside out. When most people think of broccoli, they think of fiber or general nutrition. But few realize just how deeply this green vegetable interacts with the retina, the optic nerve, and the neurovascular system that supports healthy vision and mental clarity. Broccoli is rich in 2 powerful nutrients that are often depleted in older adults: lutein, and sulforaphane. You may remember lutein from our earlier discussion on spinach. It's a carotenoid that concentrates in the macula, the central part of the retina responsible for sharp, focused vision. Lutein acts like a filter against harmful blue light. And when you consume broccoli at night, that lutein begins working while you rest, helping to stabilize the macular pigment and protect photoreceptor cells from oxidative stress. But what sets broccoli apart is sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is a sulfur-rich compound found in cruciferous vegetables, but broccoli contains it in one of the highest concentrations known in the natural food world. It activates a pathway in your cells known as ERNRF2, which controls your body's own antioxidant defense system. Think of it this way. While you sleep, sulforaphane from broccoli is flipping on genetic switches that help your eye and brain cells detoxify, repair, and strengthen their inner defense systems. In 2020, researchers from the University of Tokyo published a study in the Ocular Pharmacology journal showing that sulforaphane reduced oxidative damage in retinal ganglion cells by over 38% in older subjects with early-stage degeneration. That's not just protection, that's repair. And this doesn't stop at the eyes. Broccoli also contains high levels of vitamin C, beta-carotene, and kaempferol. All compounds shown to support the blood vessels that feed the retina and supply oxygen to the brain. As we age, those vessels become more fragile, which slows visual processing and contributes to mental fatigue. Eating broccoli regularly helps reinforce those microvessels so they can keep delivering oxygen-rich blood to the tissues that need it most while you sleep. Edward, 75, had stopped driving after sunset due to halos and glare. No supplements or eye drops helped. I asked him to add just half a cup of steamed broccoli to dinner. A month later, he drove home at night for the first time in years. No blur, no halos, not a miracle. Just the power of real nutrients. Now, if you're wondering how to prepare broccoli to get the most benefit, here's my advice. Steam it gently. Don't boil it to death. Even better, lightly sauté it with garlic and olive oil. This not only preserves the sulforaphane, it also pairs it with a healthy fat, which enhances the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like lutein and beta-carotene. Broccoli works best when it's eaten in the evening. That's when its compounds support the overnight repair cycle of your retina and optic nerves. A simple half cup, consistently, is often enough to make a noticeable difference. Because by the time you reach your 70s, your eyes have worked over 2 billion times. They've filtered light, tracked movement, and helped you recognize the people you love. They deserve care. They deserve repair. And broccoli, quietly, faithfully, helps make that possible. Up next, we'll uncover a final green food. It's often dismissed as too ordinary, but it may be the most powerful brain communicator of them all. Green peas may not look like much, but inside, they carry a quiet power that strengthens how your brain and eyes communicate, especially as you age. Let's begin with the brain. Green peas are rich in vitamin B1, or thiamine. Thiamine is crucial for producing acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter responsible for memory, focus, and muscle control. As thiamine levels decline with age, these signals slow down. That's when common issues begin: forgetfulness, delayed reactions, and mental fatigue. A 2020 review in Brain Research Reviews found that older adults with higher thiamine intake had 23% faster response times and improved cognitive efficiency during memory tasks. Peas also contain folate, another key nutrient for the aging brain. Folate supports methylation, which helps regulate neurotransmitters and repair damaged DNA. Low folate leads to higher homocysteine levels, a compound linked to damage in the brain's blood vessels. In 2019, researchers writing in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease reported that older adults with low folate and high homocysteine were 30% more likely to experience cognitive and visual decline over 5 years. This matters not just for the mind, but for your eyes. High homocysteine levels restrict blood flow to the retina, the thin layer of cells that turns light into vision. When the retina lacks nutrients, vision slows, and contrast fades, especially in low light. Peas help prevent this by keeping those vessels open. They also offer zinc, a mineral needed to activate enzymes in the retina that allow you to see clearly at night. A 2021 clinical trial in Ophthalmology Research International showed that older adults who consumed zinc-rich plant foods like peas had 18% better contrast sensitivity and improved night vision. And then there's lutein, a carotenoid we've talked about before. Peas contain lutein in a highly absorbable form when steamed lightly and paired with a bit of healthy fat. Lutein settles in the macula, the central part of the retina, where it acts as a filter against blue light and oxidative stress. This directly supports sharper images, better depth perception, and longer retinal endurance. It's especially important for seniors who struggle with glare, bright lights, or screen sensitivity. Green peas also balance blood sugar through the night. This is important because your optic nerve relies on steady glucose to transmit signals from your eyes to your brain. Sharp spikes or drops interrupt that flow, which can leave you feeling foggy the next morning. The fiber and complex carbs in peas allow for a slow, steady glucose release, supporting overnight brain and eye repair. So how do you use them? Steam half a cup of peas 3 or 4 evenings per week. Toss them into soups, blend them into warm purees, or enjoy them as a simple side dish. If possible, add olive oil or avocado to help absorb their fat-soluble nutrients like lutein and beta-carotene. Frozen peas are just as effective, just don't overcook them. Green peas may seem ordinary, but they nourish the connection between your senses and your memory. They protect the microscopic vessels in your eyes. They fine-tune the signals your brain depends on to think clearly and see sharply. And they do it all while you sleep. In the final part, I'll show you how to combine all 4 greens into one simple plan that supports overnight healing every single day. We've covered 4 powerful green foods. Each one supports your brain. Each one protects your vision. But how do you put them together into a routine that fits your real life? You don't need perfection. You just need rhythm. Here's a simple plan I often recommend to my older patients. Start your week with spinach. Add a cup of lightly steamed spinach to your dinner plate, 2 or 3 nights. Pair it with a drizzle of olive oil and lemon to unlock its brain and eye-boosting nutrients. Midweek, add kale. Massage it raw into a salad or steam it gently with garlic. Just 1 cup 2 times per week is enough to support memory and brain cell growth. Rotate in broccoli. Half a cup, lightly sautéed, 3 nights a week. Ideal in the evening when the retina begins its natural repair cycle. And don't forget green peas. Steam half a cup and enjoy it with soup, stew, or warm grain bowls. Their steady energy release supports overnight signaling between brain and eye. You don't need to eat all 4 in one day. Spread them throughout your week. Build a plate that works for you, and let your meals become your medicine. Because healing doesn't always come from pills or procedures. Sometimes, it begins with what's already in your kitchen. Simple, affordable, and proven by science. And most importantly, you're not alone. Every day, thousands of older adults around the world are making small changes like this and feeling sharper, seeing clearer, and living with more confidence than they thought possible. If this video brought you hope, I want to thank you for watching. If it gave you something useful, please consider liking this video, subscribe, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. You never know who your words might inspire. Stay strong, stay curious, and remember, your best days are not behind you. They're waiting just ahead.